Sometimes the world looks perfect, nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling you need some kind of change. Standing tall on the wings of my dream, rise and fall on the wings of my dream. Rain and thunder, wind and haze, bound for better days. It's my life and my dream, nothing's gonna stop me now.
All right, welcome to TGIF. Tanner Grover invites friends. It is day number 15,574 of being me, and some days I feel like I've lost my flow. I wish I was in a New York state of mind like some of the greatest hip hop artists of all time. You've got Jay-Z, you've got Notorious B.I.G., you've got my favorite Godson, Nas, but all of them pale in comparison to my guest today, Mr. Avi Oso. Together, we are the pillars of the SMA Adult Patient Advisory Board at Lenox Hill Hospital. It is an honor to speak with Mr. David Munoz. David, what's up, my friend?
Tanner, the pleasure is 100% all mine. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, man. So, David, the first thing I like to do on this podcast with all my guests is I establish our DOF, that stands for Date of Friendship. All right, the podcast ultimately is about friendship. So I have the exact date where we met, actually. It was, I think, January 25th. We did our first kind of video chat through the SMA Adult Patient
It changed my
Advisory.
life. It changed my life.
Yeah, so I mean, tell me about what were your first impressions? Not just of being on the board, but maybe your first impressions of me as well.
All right, so I'll give you my first impression of the board first, and then I'll give you my impression of you. Okay. So when I met the board, unfortunately, you know you're going to be with a group of people who have very severe physical disabilities. So you kind of go into it like, I hope you can understand them, you can hear what they got to say, and then you also know that the species you're dealing with is just so intelligent. So we're physically just fucked, but intellectually we're just of another mindset. We play at a different level. So I'm super excited to go into see what all these people have to deal with and how they go about surviving, because it's not fucking easy. You know what I mean? You're on day 15,574. You know what I'm saying. And like nobody else knows what I'm saying more than you guys. And this board of individuals who have the same disability I do, and probably even worse, and how they're making it through. And then you told me how old you were. And that just blew my fucking mind, buddy. And I was just like, wow, that really stuck out because I was like, damn, you really have to plan for a future. Usually, I've been living my life like there's no tomorrow. And like, tomorrow's not promised to us. It's really not promised to anyone. But, it just, you're an inspiration to all of us, Anna.
It's interesting, David, because the impression I got from the board, because you're in New York, right? You're in, is it Yonkers? Is that where you're
Yes,
at?
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
DMX.
yeah, represent. Um, and so I'm kind of the outlier to this group, but the impression I got was that everyone in there had a better sense of like the SMA community than I do, just because like I'm up in Maine. I don't see a lot of people in wheelchairs. So for me to kind of assimilate into your world a little bit is like a huge eye opener, and just really appreciative to be a member of it and also lend whatever wisdom, insight, knowledge I might have to the group. And then you specifically, I was like, this dude is a trip. Like, this dude's entertaining. He knows I'd have a good time. And like, if we were next door neighbors, we'd probably be hanging out every day. That was my vibe on
Every
David
day,
Munoz.
every day, every day. You know, Tana, since a very young age, I'd say, I'd say from the age of 11, okay, my only mission in life was to become independent. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know I didn't even know like which way to go. I just knew that in my heart, I needed to live on my own. And that's something that's impossible. It's impossible because I depend on help from other people. So being alone is not something I could do. I'm never, ever alone. I'm with someone 24/7. And most people can't even imagine what that entails. They wouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So I live with someone, and then I was like, with family, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way I have to survive with this family. I can't make it to day 15,000. There's no fucking way. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, no, I have to find my own place. And then I had to find services. I ended up going to like a court and just showing them, hey, listen, I need the help 24/7. And
Yeah,
it can't just be one person. It has to be multiple people. Because after 12 hours, they just don't give you the attention you need.
yeah.
And
Well,
I
even
mean, I've
I was
talked to
just saying, yeah, before you came on, you introduced me to your nurse that's been with you for 20 years, and that's just
20
that,
years.
that that's an incredible. I mean, that's an incredible relationship to have. I mean, like, how many people do you even know outside of yourself, and not including family members that have a relationship with someone for 20 years? I mean, that's just an incredible thing you got going on.
Tana, she's an amazing person. She's taught me what patience is. She's taught me, when I say she's taught me, bullshit. I haven't learned. Her patience is just incredible. And it's just about understanding, and it's really about just patience. I don't know how she does it. I really don't know. I really don't know. It's not easy. I've had a job. Then I was working at a preschool for kids with disabilities. So before they go into kindergarten, like they need to be evaluated whether they need help or not. And I was working there for 10 years before COVID, and I needed her help with everything, with answering the phone, with putting the phone up, but with everything, bro, with everything. So I mean, they loved her. They fucking hated me. You know what I mean? But I got the money, Tanner. I got the money, and that's all that matters.
That's good, man. That's great. Let me ask you about this, because I'm curious. Because um, I grew up in a small community, David. I graduated with a class of like 54 kids, right? And so small school. I mean, there were like maybe only 200, 250 kids in the whole high school. But growing up, I always had like personal assistants, right? And so I kind of like grades 1 through 4. I had a woman that helped me out, and then grades 5 through 8, it was a different lady, and then grades 9 through 12, there was a third woman that helped me out, right? And so, every day going to school, it's like, all right, I had my relationship with my classmates and my teachers, but then I had like my personal aide, and we became friends as well, and that's just kind of how I operated in that K through 12 system. So I'm just curious, what was that like for you? What was your school experience like?
All right, so let me start off. I saw the basketball at the beginning, the opening clip. I fucking love that. Okay, I love that, and what they did there, and how they put you in the center of that picture, it makes me emotional. That's totally beautiful. I love that. Tana, so to answer your question, I was very blessed. I was blessed in ways you can't even imagine. Because in the Yonkers school district, they really didn't have anything to accommodate my physical needs or my intellectual needs. Because anything if you put me anywhere around the physical fucked up kids, I was mentally just too advanced. So they ended up shipping me an hour and a half away to Long Island. And it's called the Henry Viscardi School. Now, the Henry Viscardi School, Tammy, have you heard of it?
I haven't. No, I don't know what that is.
All right, so the Henry Viscardi School is a school that's built from kindergarten to 12th grade. It's the Harvard of like schools for crippled people. All right, they have pools. So I really didn't know I was disabled till I was coming out of high school. They're so good at what they do. They take disability out of the equation. Granted, you were in a class of, I believe you said 55, correct?
Yeah, 54, 55, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I was in a class of like maybe 25.
Okay.
And like 7 of them died before they got to 12.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So now
all different. Were they all different disabilities?
all different disabilities, brother. All different disabilities. I mean, once they were shipped away to, Disney World, you knew that motherfucker wasn't coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Huh.
if they're making a wish, oh, he's fucking gone. And then you never see him. And you'd be like, oh, he died in Disney World. So when they give you a wish, you're like, oh, fuck. And, I don't want to go to Disney World. Fuck that noise. You know what I'm saying? Tina, I went 3 times. I
So,
made 3 wishes.
okay. We're
I'm sorry, I give you too
so I've
much.
never. No, no. I'm trying to contemplate. I've never done like a make a wish type of thing. I've never been in that position. But like when you're offered that, or like I'm assuming, like
I
you're
was
offered a
young.
wish.
I was
You're
young. I was
yeah.
6. I was 6. I was 7, and then I was 11.
So like, all right, because I've had opportunities myself because I was the MDA poster child in Maine. So I got to do some pretty cool shit myself. Which
I was Jerry's kids. Do you remember Jerry?
I was
Jerry's
one of
kids?
Jerry's. I was
Oh yeah.
let me tell you something, David. I was actually when I was can't remember if I was 5 or 6, but I was a finalist to be like the national Jerry kid,
You
for
got the
MBA.
fucking face for it, bro. You got the fucking face for it. You're
I
there. You're the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I had the face. I don't know what happened. Puberty hit, but that's all right.
Huh?
But but yeah, no, man, I got to go do some cool stuff. I guess the connection I'm trying to make when you're saying you got to make like 3 wishes, was it because of just you got to do it, or were you thought to be like sick or something? Like what was
No. Oh, so let's be absolutely clear, okay, Tanner?
yeah,
If you got a wish, it's because you're on your way fucking out. You know what I'm saying?
okay,
So
all right,
they're
that's
gonna transition you from Disney World to the fucking grave. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
All right. You're dealing with a fucking different kind of species when you're talking to me. You
Yeah,
understand? Because when they would send me away, I was like, oh shit, this is too good. I can't just fucking give up now. You know what I'm saying? You gotta fight. And I've always been a fat fuck. I've always been fat as shit. So, like,
mhm,
carrying me has always been a fucking issue. You know what I'm saying? So these trips, when they're built so well where you don't even have to be carried. They're gonna push you into a car that has a ramp, and
yep.
my parents are like shit. So Tana, I'm I'm having trouble breathing as a child, but I'm like, if I concentrate, I'm sure I can make another day out of it. And little by little, you just can't like you survive it. And
So
then when you see your friends again, you talk to
let
them.
me ask you this, like, because I believe me, I've had my fair share of like respiratory issues myself, and
Yeah, yeah, tell me. Huh?
yeah, and I kind of know, like in the back of my mind, like, all right, like if I'm gonna go, like it's probably gonna be some kind of pneumonia that I can't, get overcome.
100%. Yeah.
So
Or
like, I mean,
something real stupid, like I fell into a train track. You know what I mean? Like I drove my chair off the sidewalk. I got hit by a
oh,
car. It's gonna be something real stupid.
I would like to talk to you about that. Not right now, but I want to get to that a little bit later because I want to talk about
Uh,
the dumbest thing you've ever done, and I'll tell you the dumbest thing I've ever done. But
uh,
let me so like, all right, let me ask you, like, you've been hospitalized for like respiratory stuff.
Tina, before I started getting Spinraza,
Yep.
before I started getting Spinraza, before I met the partner I was with, I used to be in the hospital at least 2 or 3 times a year. Okay.
Okay.
So I started Spinraza, and brother, it helped in my lungs. And it just made
Hmm.
my lungs stronger. Um, I also believe I changed the way I ate. So I didn't aspirate as much. When you choke, brother, that fucks you up, man. That really fucks me up. So I can't cough it out. So I had my nurse literally push my diaphragm as I cough.
That's what
And
I
that's how I
do.
get it out.
That's what I
Yeah,
do,
listen,
man.
brother.
Yeah.
I looked at you and I'm like, that's my blood. I fought wars next to that man before. That's what I see when I look at you.
It's yeah. So I started at RISD in 2020. I've never done Spinraza, and you know that we've talked about that before. And at first it's working really well for me, but like I wasn't hospitalized 2 or 3 times a year like you, but I definitely had like really bad cases of pneumonia a couple of times where, I'll be in the hospital for 2 or 3 months at a time. I remember in between, my fourth and fifth grade summers, I spent that whole summer in the hospital with pneumonia, and took me a while to get off of it, to get out of it. And I'm pretty careful, as I'm sure you are too, come like cold season, trying to make sure I'm around, not around sick people and taking precautions. Um, Luckily, David, I don't know how the hell I've done this, but I haven't been properly sick in 4 years somehow. I have no
Knock on
fucking
wood, brother.
idea.
Knock on wood.
Yeah,
Look, we're tied. We're around tied. I haven't been in the hospital around 4 years too. And honestly, I don't know how I've done it.
me either.
Well, listen, I'll tell you what. COVID fucked me twice, maybe 3 times.
Hmm.
And
So you got COVID a few times?
I got COVID a few times. I think the first time I got it, I think my father brought it to me from Colombia.
Hmm.
And I believe I died in my chair. But I sat next to a heater. So you know those television like stands that have like a fireplace on the bottom display?
Yeah,
It's
it's
like a
not like a TV cart kind of thing, like
yeah,
an old.
like a, yeah. And it has like
Yeah.
a little fireplace down there. It has a heater too.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah.
Tanner, I would sit in front of that fucking heater, brother. And it would that's how I got through COVID. And I ended up going to the hospital one time and they isolated me in a room.
Hmm.
But I can't be by myself because I need help constantly.
Hmm.
And I was like, I gotta get myself out of this hospital. So I signed myself out. And
Hmm.
tenure, luckily, I was like, I refuse to go back to the hospital for any reason. But I haven't needed it either. When I get sick, I text my doctor. And I'm like, I need antibiotics and I need steroids for my lungs.
Yep. Yep.
Do you do the
Prednisone.
steroids?
Yeah, prednisone. Like I do, like oral. Yep. Yeah. No. Usually, so my routine, David, and I've got something similar. Um, I do have a really good pulmonologist in Maine, like a really good one who gives me support like 24/7. So if I get sick, I can call a number
Yeah.
and they will help me out. But
That's
yeah,
beautiful.
so the antibiotic that works for me is oh shit, what's it called? Augmentin. So I take Augmentin is the antibiotic, and then if I'm really struggling, I'll get like a low dose of prednisone to get like that inflammation down in the
Yeah.
lungs, easier to cough up. And do you take albuterol regularly or only when you're sick?
Only when I'm sick, brother. Only
Yeah,
when
me
I'm
too.
sick. If I'm sick, I'm not even gonna. I'm like 10. I'll do maybe every 2 hours, every 4 hours.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But it makes you so fucking hungry, G. Tina, I'm a fat fuck, G. You know, I'm a fat fuck. I'm working on losing weight though. I'm working on it. I'm eating better. Do you take smoothies in the morning? Like protein smoothies?
I don't, but I have. Here's one thing I have done is I've tried to find different ways to incorporate more protein into my diet, and so for years I was drinking like whatever Ensures or Boosts, and you just get so tired of them. And
No,
so
no.
now I have I have this hazelnut protein creamer that I put in my coffee. So it adds 10 grams of protein to my cup of coffee in the
Nice.
morning. Yep.
Nice.
And then I drink a protein hot chocolate as well. And I find that more tolerable than like the smoothies. So yeah,
Yeah,
between those two things, it's an added 20 grams of protein.
I don't know about you, but I also have to control my intake of food so I don't shit because I don't have the ability to just take a shit wherever I want. You know what I'm saying? So, and
Oh yeah.
I also need the I also need the right staff to take a shit. Like I only take a shit with one person. So on the weekends I don't even shit.
Okay.
So I try I try to make sure my intake of food is right on the right days.
Yeah,
Is that too
it's
much saying or that's too much?
no, man, nothing's too much, man. No, I mean for me, like I'm fortunate in that uh I wake up every morning, I live with my parents, and in our routine, I get the opportunity to take a shit every morning, which is great. Now, here's the thing, I think just like anybody, I don't always go, so I gotta be mindful of, what I eat so I stay regular, all that stuff. But yeah, I feel you, and I think that's something that's really unique to people in our position, in that we have to like regulate bathroom breaks. Let me tell you a funny story. This just happened to me a couple weeks ago. Okay, I was in Booth Bay where I live. They had this drone show over the harbor. Kind of like fireworks, but they're
Beautiful,
drones.
beautiful, beautiful.
It was awesome. I'd never seen one before, and it was a
I've never
big,
seen one either. Only on TV.
yeah, it was really cool, man. And so, all these drones over the harbor, there's a lot of people. And I'm at a bar watching the drones, right? And I'm having a conversation with a guy at the bar, and, older guy, he was nice. And he was asking me about my disability, whatever, trying to get a feel for it, and I'm just being
Did you
nice.
get what happened? Did you get this or what happened?
Um, I did a lot of like, were you born like this? Like I did a lot of that. But this is let me tell you what he's gonna tell me.
Yeah.
So he just asked me point blank, he goes, so like, where is your colostomy bag? And I'm like, I want to, it's up my ass,
Oh, yeah.
uh, but it's weird stuff like that,
It's
David.
inside. It's
Yeah, right,
inside. It's inside.
right. But it's weird stuff like that where we're subjected to these questions where it's like, well, I don't
Tanya,
have.
I was in my first or second year in college, community college.
Yep,
Tanya, I'm sitting next to this beautiful, beautiful Latin woman. And I know she's Colombian because I heard her speak. I heard her speak and I was like, damn, she's Colombian. So I
yep,
sat next to her. Because in college, when I would go into class, I would always just sit by the door. Almost like I'm leaving soon. You know what I mean? And I just pull up to like one of the first empty seats and I just kind of sit there. So I would sit there because she would sit up in the front. And one day she looked at me and she was like, how do you shit? And Tanya, for my first time, I was just like, oh shit. Or she just caught me off guard. Like, I would have known how to answer if I was ready, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready, G. I wasn't ready. So I just
sure.
told her in the bathroom.
Yeah, yeah,
That's it.
right.
And she
I
never
know.
spoke to me again.
Well, that's too bad. Because she sounded pretty attractive. That's definitely my type, David. Um, but it is, man. There's a lot of odd assumptions or odd questions that I think over the years I've just become,
Has
immune to.
anything bothered you? Has anything bothered you?
God, I'm trying to think if there's ever been a time where something really bothered me. I don't know. I think I was so fortunate to grow up the way I did with the classmates that I had that were always so like accepting of me that I was
Beautiful.
able to,
They made you yours.
yeah, I
You
was
were a
able,
part of them.
I was able to kind of mainstream and just, you know, blend in my own way. And so I think because of that, you know, when I did get weird questions, it struck me so weird that like I just didn't really think of it. I think now the thing I still get, I get a lot of stuff from little kids, right? So like little kids will see me on the street or whatever, and I'll overhear them
They're
ask the parent,
pure. Because
you
they're
know,
pure, brother. They're very pure.
yeah, and they're just like, hey, what, like, why is this guy in a chair? You know, like, or they want to know, like, can I have that chair?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. Yo, that looks fun. That looks fun. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
So little kids, I really, that's like kind of a charming thing. Um, Let me ask you this. So, like, you went to this, you went to this school, right? That sounds amazing, right? So, and then you go to college. Um, like throughout all of your schooling experience, what was like your extracurriculars? Like, because you saw the basketball with me in the beginning, right? So for me, all my friends played basketball growing up, and I wanted to be involved. And I love the sport too. It's the only sport I'm really kind of in tune with. And I didn't want to be like a statistician. I didn't want to be a manager. I wanted to do something to kind of have an impact on the game. And so what I did was I got into coaching, and I started by like volunteering at a local YMCA, and that tied into helping out my classmates as they were in high school. And then I kept up with it, and eventually I became a varsity coach myself here in
Holy
Booth Bay.
fuck.
Yeah,
Was
and
it good? What was the record to that?
I coached for 5 years, and I
You
think
had
I
a
was
winning record, right, Tanner?
we were in 5 years. Then they were 78-22. Pretty good.
Tanner, you're a fucking stud, buddy. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You are. You truly, truly are.
I coming from you, that is an honor, man. Because I'm looking at nothing. I'm looking at the definition of stud right now.
No,
So
no, 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 no. No. You know, Tanner, so in my high school years, we played wheelchair basketball.
yeah, okay.
Okay? So I did 4 years of wheelchair basketball. I did
Mhm.
4 years of wheelchair football. We played every sport. I was blessed to have Mr. Sweeney, who was the pitching coach for one of the baseball teams out in Long Island. And all he would do is talk pitching to us. But all the other motherfucking tards, they didn't give a shit. I love sports. So I'm just fucking eating every word he's saying. And in my heart, you know, I would have been a pitcher for the New York fucking Yankees. You know what I'm saying? I would have been fucking good. You know what I'm saying, Channel? Either that, I would have been in the military. But
Yeah.
I loved playing. They had a 2 foot basketball hoop. They
Okay.
had a 4 foot high basketball hoop, and they had an 8 foot high basketball hoop. So depending on how fucking crippled you are, you would be able to shoot at the 2 foot, the 4 foot, or the 8 foot.
Oh, that's cool. I've never even like seen anything like that.
And
But
Tanya, there is no better rush. There's no bigger rush. I mean, fucking, the only thing better is sex, right? It's basketball is sex, right? So there's no better feeling than spinning around some and then getting up to the hoop and just pushing it in. You know what I mean? Ah!
I'll take that under advisement.
You get it. You get it. That's good. That's good. But it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And I mean, we lost our senior year by 1 point. He
Yep,
missed a free throw. He missed 2 free throws. And that's
yep,
something you take with you the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah. Just the simple fact, before I move on, the simple fact that you were a participant in a sport, is it's an awesome concept to me. And it's something that like I never had the opportunity to really grow up with. Not that I didn't try, right? So like we had the YMCA and we go down and we would play pick up basketball. There was no 2 foot hoop to shoot at, right? All my classmates were playing on the 10 foot hoop. And I wasn't gonna you throw a pass at me, it's just gonna bounce off my head. But one thing I could do pretty well was set a mean pick. So I'd free up some people for layups every
wow,
once in a while.
wow,
Yeah,
wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's
it was
beautiful. Tina, I don't know. Before I know we gotta move on, but let me just throw this at you. I
sure.
love sports so much that since I couldn't do it physically, I was
Hmm.
like, I'm gonna do it on video games.
Yeah.
And I participated in a hockey league that one of my friends started, and it had over 5,000 people.
That's
And they were just draft players, and I was drafted fourth 1 year. And then I also owned a team, so you would draft the different players. So I'm just saying that I know it's so difficult to coach a team and to coach the players. And the fact that you had the record of, I think it was at 75-22.
yeah, 78-22, something like that. We were good, man.
Yeah, you're talking at 78.
We
That's
won.
amazing, Tanner. That's
I
amazing.
mean, oh, I tell you, David, I don't like to toot my own horn, but I will when it comes to coaching. Okay, so we won the regional title once, lost in the state championship. That was my 4th year. Uh, we won the conference title, I think 4 out of the 5 years I coached, and I was named conference coach of the year twice, and I was the coach of the year for Class C in the state of Maine once. So I had a good run.
Fuck, bro. Let me ask you this.
Sure.
The crowd's going crazy, okay?
Yep.
How are you communicating with your players due to the lack of ability to project? We don't have the highest voice. Cause Tanner, you lived out a dream that
I
every little crippled kid could ever dream of. Imagine imagine us younger saying, damn, I wish I can't play. I could coach though.
I'll
This is a dream of mine. So I'm asking you, I'm in
yeah.
this nightmare of a dream. I'm like, how the fuck? I'm telling, we're down by 3. You're trying to run a play, and they can't hear you. How did you
So
make that work?
yeah, I'll tell you. So so I had a voice amplifier, right? So I had a little speaker and a headset mic, and we had to get it approved by the state to make sure I could do it, and it wasn't conceived as like a unfair advantage. Yep.
Oh
And so
shit!
they approved it. They said it's all right, which is great. Not well, it's the state board. It's the um, we're governed. The sports are governed by the Maine Principals Association, but it's a board, and they approved it. So I did that, and then the other thing that you might find interesting, David, is like I don't have the ability to like
Not
draw.
me, brother. Not me, the whole fucking world. You understand, brother? Whoever looks at you and watches this is sitting in their fucking seat looking at you, saying, I can't wait to hear the next thing out of his mouth. I'm sorry, continue.
That's all right. So I didn't have the ability to like draw up a play on a whiteboard, because my hands don't work well enough to draw up X's or O's. But the thing was, all the players on the team, we were so well rehearsed in practice.
The chemistry is there. You
So
trained them like fucking soldiers.
I
You
didn't,
didn't
we
need
didn't
to draw up a play.
we didn't have to. No, I would just say we're going to run whatever, Michigan, and they know what it is. So we were good that way, and we really tried to prepare for every situation.
Was there ever one I'm interviewing a coach now. So I know your answers are very political, you fuck. But was there ever a situation you weren't ready for, Coach Tanya?
I wish I could
Don't
say
bullshit me. Don't
I'm not.
bullshit me. I'm asking you man to man.
The situation you're never ready for, David, is when the ball just won't go in the goddamn hoop. That's the situation
Fucking
you're
A,
never
bro.
ready for.
Fucking A, bro. Spoken like a fucking champion.
That's it.
Spoken like a champion.
And what? That metaphor, that can be applied anywhere, right? Like that's not just unique to basketball. That's everywhere. So sometimes the ball just won't go in the damn hoop.
Are we talking about sex?
We're talking about whatever you want. So let me ask you, David.
I'm
So I
talking
have a couple more questions. So
anything you want, brother. Anything you want.
one thing I always like to connect with guests on is I'm a big lover of movies, right? And so here in Booth Bay, one thing I'm doing now is I rent out a local movie theater once a month. It's not super expensive, right? It's like
Wow.
it's not that much, but I do it, and then I show a free community movie to the public, and so people come in, they watch the movie, and then we actually hand out little scorecards and rank the movie, and we have an open mic discussion afterwards. So I really love films, and I've kind of taken it as a chance to like show some of my favorite movies on the big screen. I've shown like I don't know, Dazed and Confused, Lost Boys, Donnie Darko, all these different movies, right? And so I'm just curious, like, what are some of your favorite movies? Are you into movies? You watch TV? What are you into?
All right, Tanya. So, Tanya, I love movies. I do. Okay, but I've lived in a very unsheltered lifestyle. Okay, so one of my favorite movies, The Wedding Crashers. You know what I mean? That I always think about Blue Streak. True Lies. You know, there's so many good fucking movies. I love action movies. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm into TV shows like Game of Thrones. Do you like Game of Thrones?
Oh, I like Game of Thrones and I love House of the Dragon too. I just wrapped
You
that
know
up.
what? I after this conversation, I will make it one of my things to watch House of Thrones. Okay, I've seen Game of Thrones twice,
Yep.
but now I'll tell you this because I respect the conversation we're having. Have you seen the good bad things?
I have not.
The
I don't know what that
bad,
is.
good, the good, the bad, the good bad things.
I don't
Okay.
know what that.
It,
Okay.
all right. So I was at a basketball game.
Yep.
Okay, and I'm sitting next to a crippled guy.
Yep.
His swag is superior. Okay, I'm looking at him like, you know what, this guy fucks. He fucks. You know what I'm saying? So I pull up to him and I'm like, what's up? And he's kind of like, fuck offish. And I'm like, all right, you cocksucker, it's all right. And then I'm sitting there, right? And brother, I just go over him and I'm like, so like, you know, he's with some guy. And I'm like, hey, so I'm like, what's up? And he's like, hey, he does movies. He's in movies. He made a movie. And that's the movie he made. And it's about a guy in a wheelchair.
Wait a minute, this is really weird. Did you get his name?
Yeah, I got his fucking name. His name is Danny something. I got him on Instagram. I'll send him to you.
Okay, there's another guy that made a film, and his name is like Cosmo Rudd, and he made I think he has SMA even, but
Yeah, fuck those SMA guys.
yeah, that's
Fuck them hard.
yeah,
Those.
yeah, but yeah, he made some short film that I think it won an award at like Sundance or something.
Yeah. Well, listen, he won award too. This fucker.
Okay.
He won an award too. But I'm telling you, listen. I promised him I was gonna watch the fucking film. But listen, when you have a fucking girl, it's not easy to do anything. You know what I'm saying? You're
Yes.
lucky you have a life. You feel me? So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm single now, so now maybe I'll fucking watch it, right?
Yeah.
But it's about a guy who meets the love of his life on some app.
Okay.
And I don't know. It's like they find true love, and I don't know. It's a love story. It's a love story about him and a cripple.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's always a love story with these cripples. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know it's a funny movie, which you would check. You should check this out. It's called Pumpkin. You ever heard of that movie?
No, I've never heard of that one.
It's older. It's like it's 2002, I want to say, but it stars oh gosh, what is her name? Oh, fuck, I can't remember. She was in like Casper. What was that girl? Christina Ricci. All right.
Okay.
So Christina Ricci, it's like a dark comedy, right? And she's part of a
My
sorority.
favorite.
She's a part of a sorority. And you know how sororities have like, missions or whatever? They do something like charitable for the community. So they're doing like a Special Olympics thing, right? Where they're like every sorority girl is matched up with the Special Olympian, and she ends
With the
up
tart.
yeah,
The
and
Olympian has the tart.
she ends up falling in love with her Special Olympian. It's like a forbidden thing, right? Like she's not supposed to, but she's in love with
Yeah.
but the movie, it's so I don't know, man. You would
Did
like
they
it.
win? Did they win? Did they win?
Everybody wins,
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
I hear you, bro. I hear you.
So, David, I got one final question for you, and I asked all my guests this. So, in 2008, my grandmother passed away from lung cancer, right? And when she was on her deathbed, she said something that really kind of like nowadays it feels very profound. But she said, my one regret in life was that every time I wanted an ice cream sundae, I didn't allow myself to have one. And she really meant that. She really just all she wanted was an ice cream sundae every time she wanted one. And so I took that to mean like, all right, metaphorically speaking, like what would my ice cream sundae be? If I wanted something that, I didn't always allow myself to have, I don't want to live with that regret. So my question to you, David, and you can answer this however you like, but what is your ice cream sundae? What's something that you want every day? If you don't know the answer to that, what's maybe just something that you find really fulfills you?
What a beautiful question, brother. And you know, I don't want to. It's such a beautiful question that if I told you Percy is my ice cream sundae, like it's just if you would think I'm joking, okay? But um, listen, I'm so blessed, brother. I'm so blessed. I truly live the life of a crippled king. I'm very crippled, but there's nothing I truly want that I don't have. And I'm not even gonna, I'm not a joke. This conversation we're having, this is my Sunday. This is spending time with people who are genuinely just terrific people who just bring something to this world. This is how I want to spend my day. And I truly appreciate my time with you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, brother. You are an inspiration. I'm gonna call you coach from now on.
Call me whatever you want, David. You call me
Thank
whatever you want. You call me coach, that's fine.
you.
It's funny, I haven't ever, this is my 18th episode of doing this, and I got, plenty more planned for the future with different people I want to talk to, but I've never really kind of answered that question myself,
Oh,
but if I were to do it, my answer would be pretty similar to yours in that, like, as far as the Sunday, something that I don't ever want to regret, it's not taking the opportunity to have these conversations with people like you because that is kind of what fulfills me. So that the way you articulated it, man, that was beautiful.
same, brother, same. Because the way you answered it, brother, I give you a high five because that was, it really is. It complements my answer. It really does.
That's cool, man. I got one photo I want to share with you before we take off. Because I looked at your Instagram. I looked at your Avi Oso Instagram, and I checked out your Spotify too. By the way, you should
Thank you,
get back.
brother.
That was killer. So what
Oh,
I noticed,
thank
you you must be a wrestling fan because you had a pretty sick custom wrestling belt on one of your photos. And when I retired from coaching, my buddies hooked me up with this right here. So I want to share that
Oh
photo.
man. Oh man. Oh man, that's nice. Tina,
Yeah,
that's nice.
it's good to have
So
it's good to have cool friends. You know what I mean?
you're not wrong. You're not so like you said, obviously, a friend gave that to me. Okay?
Yep.
He's my best friend. He was in the Navy, so he served 8 years in the Navy. Um I met him at the preschool. And I always told him, I was like, listen, man, if I could, I would have been military 100%. And one day he walked in and he's like, I'm going to the Navy. And I didn't believe it. Like, I mean, I believed him, but like it caught me so off guard. And I was like, what the fuck? And I saw this man like live out another dream and became military and came back. And on PlayStation, we made a bet and we did a home run derby. And whoever won the home run derby, we'd all chip in $75. There's three of us. We'd all chip in $75 to buy the champion a nice home run derby belt. And one day he took me to the Yankee Stadium and brought me not a $75 belt.
No,
And
that was I
no,
saw
no,
that
no.
belt. I saw that belt.
Yeah. So he brought me into Yankee Stadium, and the most expensive item they have was the belt. And he was like, "Do you want it?" And I was like, "Listen, I'm not saying I want that one, but you owe me a fucking belt." And he took it off the wall and he brought me the fucking belt, bro.
That's
And
beautiful.
I was like,
That's
"Listen, do you get a military discount?" And they gave him the military discount. So he owes me. He owes me.
that's a good friend, man. That is a good
Yeah,
friend. That's
yes, sir.
cool.
Yes, sir.
Well, David, listen, I want to thank you for like taking the time to chat with me, and I want to thank everyone who's taken the time to hang out with David and I. Hope you found our conversation informative, inspirational, entertaining. Maybe it's just background noise for you. However you want to consume it, that is up to you. But more than anything, David, I just want to thank you for being a friend.
You too, Danny. You too, brother. And I appreciate you having me, okay? Hit me up whenever you want.